Both the defense and government have rested their case in the Diddy trial. The defense didn't call a single witness, they only showed exhibits and tried to switch the narrative, showing it was all consensual. Certain things weren't in there. You'll see the whole rant in the last half of this video of what Shapiro says. He goes on a huge rant about what the government did not prove. Hit subscribe. Let's go, boys. All right, before the jury's in, Combs' lawyer says, as we submitted overnight, we think it's relevant Cassie's sex to Combs about what she wanted to do. Government responds saying these acts were with Mr. Combs in his office. They are simply not relevant. Judge says U.S. objection is sustained. Here, Ms. Combs is inquiring into what Ms. Ventura was going to do, and she replied, be your little freak. Ms. Ventura is asking Mr. Combs for an explicit photo of himself, so it is about her boyfriend. Here, I overruled the objection. Ms. Ventura writes she bought baby oil because she just couldn't stop herself. She was buying baby oil on her own. We don't dispute she wanted to have sex with her boyfriend, the government says. Judge says the baby oil purchase seems for a freak off. They say Ms. Combs drug people to make them do freak offs, but here he cancels a freak off because she's feeling sick. Government says there's no evidence that freak off was canceled. She wanted to have sex with her boyfriend. Let's hold off. Ms. Combs asks if she can freak off without taking drugs, and she says yes. It is being offered for its truth. It is hearsay. I overrule the objection. This is Ms. Ventura demanding money. It is a command of sorts, not hearsay. And how is it relevant? It goes to financial motive. In 2017, I sustained the objection to 135 on hearsay and 403 grounds. The last one's 1417 is about Ms. Ventura decorating a hotel room and getting flowers on Valentine's Day. This is a sex trafficking freak-off as alleged by the government. This shows Ms. Ventura set it up as a surprise to Combs. Interesting. So this is literally a surprise sex party for Diddy, but apparently it's sex trafficking. I'm sustaining the objection. Her being presented with the layout of the hotel room, the flowers. Agents back up on the stand for cross with Miss Garajos. What does she say here? She writes, that was so fucking sexy. Then she writes, I'm wet thinking about it. Hard eyes emoji. Now Paul's in the chat, but your chart doesn't list Cabral's message with Jane. Just point out more stuff, same as yesterday, that they left out of the charts on the summary testimony. She reaches out to Cabral to say Happy New Year, writes, let me know if you want to come tonight. What does Cabral say? He says, I'm looking for my family, but for tomorrow for sure. Not in your chart, no. Another thing not in the chart. He writes, Adderall is the greatest. She writes to him with drool face emoji, then 1406. Next, July 22, you only reviewed what the government gave you, right? Right. Combs tells Paul to come over, yes. Here Jane says, my place is free tonight. Then she writes, I got on my knees and thank God for the health of my child and for your friendship. Then heart emojis, right? Right. This is the first mention of Anton, October 8th, 22. Yes, he shows up. You see the bracelet she's wearing? I do. Jane writes, can you come to Turks? What does he say? He says, yes, love, I have a passport, but not vaccination. I think the defense is trying to show that she was planning a lot of these freak-offs willingly and with consent. I think that's what they're going for here, right? Jane writes, tonight was fun. What does he say? He says, had a great time with you, baby. Jane says, I'll reach out. How about P? What does Combs say? Combs says, okay, you find location, you in the mood. Jane says, didn't know you were unsatisfied. I stopped and got a couple more outfits. Jane writes, I know what you like. At the London, before you left for New York City, you did a film. You forgot it. And you promised you wouldn't forget. Then spring face, devil face, I'm coming, daddy. The video you sent me was hot. Ms. Corm writes, for hotel they want fruits, outfit, shorts for him, size large, fruits and juices. Ms. Combs writes, hurry up, she's at the hotel and she's horny as hell. Need help, lol. Paul responds, lol, right? Bro is saying, I need help with my girl at the hotel. That's what Diddy doing to another guy. He's asking for help. I don't understand. Ms. Combs sent Paul an image. Does it look like Shaq? Yes. What? Why is he sending him a picture of Shaq? Combs says, just say P, not Paul. Jane writes, just to tell you I love you. She says, so we try something new tonight? He says, call Italian. She says, one hotel roof, good for drinks and light bite, smiley face. He says, baby, I'm stressed out. Jane writes, daddy, want to see mommy be bad tonight. Right? Slide that dick and me at the restaurant. No water emojis. Yes. What am I reading, man? They're just showing consensual text messages, right? She writes, I'm going to blow your mind tonight. Can't wait to lick your Why, what's with the nipple situation? Why does the dude want his nipples touched? I'm confused here. Jane sends more emojis. She writes, it's sexy. We need to run the freak store. Jane writes, I love you. Have a great show. Here you have flight records from Jane going from LA to Miami 5 days before Combs posts IG video, right? Right. Do you see the message from Jane? I have the best memories. I have just a few asking about 1409. Bring up 1408. Do you see the account transfer of 22,000? Yes. Fuentes Transportation. Do you see that it's $152 for Jane's true name and also Cabral Williams? It's hard for me to see the lines. Can you move the cursor up? All right, redirect. Did we just see Sean Combs paying for the travel of Cabral Williams from Atlanta to Florida across state lines? Objection. Government's coming for his night. They're like, did we just see that? Is this evidence showing that? And the defense objects before he could answer. which I think it is. There's plenty of evidence he's transporting prostitutes across state lines. Do the charts represent every text message in this case? No. Let's pull up message before this date. Objection beyond the scope. Mr. Rogers did it. Sidebar. In this time frame, did you see any messages between Jane and Mr. Combs that were sexual or affectionate in nature? No. No further questions. So I think what they're pointing out is a time frame after where they ended things because of everything going on, I think. Do you rest? Subject to jurors take a break. Jurors leave. Government says, we have essentially rested. We only may want to move for a few corrections. Judge says, Mr. Agnifilo, are you ready to move? On count one, Mr. Combs is entitled to a judgment of acquittal. The requirements of RICO have not been met. They have not shown the agreement to violate RICO nor agreement to racketeering acts. I remember the whole agreement. I remember this being an issue in the YSL trial was there was no official agreement between any of the YSL guys. Like, it's gang shit. There's no fucking real contract or anything like that. And the way they're going to instruct the jury on RICO is going to be so fucking confusing. It's how it was in the YSL trial. The enterprise is more than a group of people. The enterprise purposes here map onto the Racketeering Act, sex trafficking, a structural feature of RICO enterprise, a hub and spoke. There's insufficient proof to establish this 20-year-long conspiracy. Mr. Combs did not conspire with any other person. They say an inner circle of bodyguards, but they failed to show it. There's only thin proof they engage in crimes. Thin proof. At most, these were personal quantities of drugs. They used a lot of astragalin, baby oil, and drank, and maybe some drugs. Jonathan Perez said hotel nights were a personal time with the female. Brendan Paul said hotel for the night. Dave James says y'all naked man in the hotel room, but thought that wasn't part of his job. The sex with Cassie and Jane sometimes involved third parties, but they were not booked by staff. It brought them closer to Combs. It's not racketeering. They did not help. So they're just saying all his employees around him weren't really involved. This isn't a whole RICO gang enterprise, technically. There's no proof that KK knew or thought these women were being coerced. She didn't damage control. There's evidence that Mr. Combs was lying to her. KK is supposed to be the main co-conspirator, but she only appears in March 2016, 12 years in. There's no evidence between the breakup with Cassie in 2018 and the beginning with Jane in 21, even for a RICO conspiracy. Even if court denied the Rule 29 motion, some should not go to the jury. Under the California law, the government had to show that the information was able to be given to law enforcement. Back in April, you found lack of probable cause. Combs was seeking to avoid negative publicity for both himself and Miss Ventura. There was no police involvement. The guard who testified said Miss Ventura did not want to report it. Eddie Garcia said the money was for the video, nothing more. The NDA permitted Garcia to report to law enforcement. There would have to be proof of Miss Combs knew of a federal investigation at the time. There's none with respect to Jane. They have November 1923, no threats. Miss Combs said, this is when I need you to be there for me. Miss Combs was already paying Jane's rent. There was nothing in the call about it. That is not corrupt persuasion. There's no federal nexus. They want to argue 1591D. That would be a constructive amendment, as we'll say at the charge conference. Anyway, we think the statute is unconstitutional. On forced labor, these are able-bodied USA citizens perfectly capable of leaving. When they wanted to leave, they did. What the two were most afraid of was losing their job. With respect to Capricorn Clark, she continued to work to show she hadn't stolen it. Not being paid overtime is not forced labor. On kidnapping, there's insufficient evidence as to 2 of the 3 allegations, even if you credit the U.S. witnesses. Capricorn Clark and the lie detector test, Uncle Paulie took her to the building. This does not satisfy New York law. Ms. Combs didn't know. She went willingly every day. The other, Cassie at the London Hotel, she says she was taken there and held for several days. California law's 4 elements not met here. When arson of Kid Cudi's car, there's no evidence Mr. Combs was involved. Count 2, Mr. Combs would have to know. I'll focus on his mens rea. It's about what he understood. Cassie did the freak offs to make Mr. Combs happy. She didn't communicate reluctance. Look at the text. As to Jane, she engaged in sex for economic benefit. For example, the house. There was only 1 incident of violence, which I'll get to. The fraud theory is deficient as a matter of law. Turk's trip ultimately happened. She wanted to go out to dinner. It's hard to interpret all this through just tweets, bro. Like, I need to be hearing this. Shapiro is just going on a rant showing that the government didn't prove everything, but they never alleged sex trafficking of Jane until they found out she was alleging a circle incident of assault. That is telling. This theory of fraud is incredibly weak. The fight at Jane's house in LA, the single act is not sufficient. There's no evidence that an escort came from outside of California. Escorts were paid for their time. Both the witnesses said there were not prostitutes, Phillips and Hayes. They were called entertainers or escort. Thank you, Your Honor. I disagree with the escort one. I mean, he flew them everywhere, bro. New York and Miami. Government, there's more than enough evidence. Your Honor can reserve on that. If you like argument, I'd take a bathroom break. I can reserve. Mr. Combs, how are you feeling? I'm doing great. I want to say thank you. You're doing an excellent job. That's what Diddy said. Do you understand that whether to testify or not is up to you? Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Is it your decision not to testify? Yes, it's my decision. Solely my decision with my lawyers. Thank you. Shall we take time to allow stipulations? Yes. Jury entering now the defense case. Combs' lawyer, we enter into evidence the stipulation about devices provided the government by Cassie. Oh Lord, look at their highlighting. I'm the luckiest woman in the world. I'll get all the pictures together this week. So many good ones. Combs' lawyer, local user, I owe you a good night. If you want me to call someone, I need to treat my pop better. I promise it will be better. If I don't, you can leave me, but that won't happen. Cassie, I love you and thank you for always trying with me. I will be a woman, not a child. I'm leaving that in 2012. Scrim's right. You think you can FO without getting high? Cassie says yes, smiley face. Blow up the first couple of bubbles. Cassie writes, send me a DP. Ventura right, I just bought baby oil at the store because I couldn't help myself. Then I'm proud of us. We've been together for a long time. Baby, you do make me happy. I look at my bracelet and it made me smile. Cassie writes, you're my best friend. And this message was sent May 2017. He was told to sit on the couch while Combs took his turn with Cassie. He felt jealous. October 24 and April and May 25, Dawn Richard met with law enforcement. The notes do not reflect Mr. Combs telling her where he comes from. People go missing. Oh, so they're saying that part was a lie about him saying that, I guess. Scott and Clark notes from the first 11 of her 13 interviews with law enforcement did not mention a call made near Scott Muscuddy's house in LA. Interesting. No mention of the call of her out front of Kid Cudi's house in the car when she got kidnapped. The first of Mia's interviews do not indicate that Mr. Combs initiated sex with Mia. Bonglin did not initially say Mr. Combs told her I could kill you at photo shoot. The government does not intend to present a rebuttal case. Judge says, jurors, you do not need to come in tomorrow. You'll come in Thursday. So clearly what just happened there is the defense didn't call any witnesses and just pretty much rested their case in like 10 to 20 minutes, bro. So they think they won. The defense is confident they don't need to put any witnesses on the stand for anything. I wonder how different everything would have been if we could see all this on live stream and like really look at the witnesses and analyze their behavior and everything to see if we believe them and not just fucking tweets. Comment down below what you guys think, hit subscribe. Love you guys, peace out.